I'm ABC 10 News reporter Rachel Bianco in El Cajon, where dozens of immigration activists and local residents will pack the city council meeting, hoping to convince the council not to go along with a plan by the mayor that would allow local police help ICE deport dangerous criminals.
I am feeling a bit scared and upset.
San Diego's mayor says he has no choice. He must balance the budget. Today is just the first step in what will likely be a series of painful budget cuts. The mayor says he is starting at the top to minimize the impact on residents. But again, this is just the beginning. Eric Dargan, the city's chief operating officer since 2022, is out. He is the only official layoff so far.
Police say 51-year-old Jamison Webster was killed and put into the trunk of her car at this motel behind me in El Cajon. They say her son is the person responsible, and he's been arrested for murder. Tonight, I spoke with a family member who says he is in shock.
We continue to report on the impact of President Trump's executive orders on immigration in San Diego neighborhoods. I spoke with the pastor here at a church in City Heights who shared that half of his congregation is not showing up because of fears of being deported.
I'm ABC 10 News reporter Rachel Bianco along the Embarcadero in San Diego. There's a lot of concern and uncertainty about President Trump's proposed federal budget cuts. Local leaders fear the cuts to social services will impact the county's most vulnerable population. Dozens of people gathered outside the county administration building Monday to protest suggested cuts to the federal budget.
It's a slow-moving commute on the I-15 here at Miramar Way, especially in the northbound lanes. Bumper-to-bumper traffic. It's been like that for the last couple of hours. A sea of red, and it looks like that all the way down to Scripps Ranch High School. That's more than 3 miles away from where I'm standing right now. And this is all, of course, before the heaviest of the rain is expected Thursday and Friday, and with it the potential for floods, especially in those low-lying areas.
Multiple dogs were pulled out of this home and are now in quarantine. One neighbor described the terrifying moments as it all unfolded in front of her eyes, while experts are now weighing in on why this attack may have happened.
As the players are scoring the points on the field, customers might have a hard time scoring deals at the grocery store. Prices for some of the most popular game day snacks are up this year, causing a little bit of sticker shock. However, one locally owned South Park grocery store is doing their best to keep those prices low.
It's the day football fans look forward to every season.
I'm Perla Shaheen at the Embarcadero. Tonight, we're taking a closer look at how the city's $258 million budget deficit will impact San Diegans and why one political analyst says the city is in bad shape.
I'm Madison Weil here at a church in City Heights. The pastor tells us that more than half of his congregation did not show up this last weekend because of fears of being deported.
The Red Cross has been set up at this church all day for people who had to leave their homes. There are no evacuees here right now, but earlier we spoke to people who told us just how dangerously close the flames came to their homes. The fire erupted shortly after midnight off Lilac Road near Old Highway 395.
I'm Perla Shaheen. The Jewish and Palestinian communities here in San Diego have been waiting in anticipation for this ceasefire agreement. They're both optimistic and hesitant that this brutal war would end over the weekend.
What has it been like for you since the start of the war?
The wind has been picking up throughout the afternoon. We've seen some fairly strong gusts, but fortunately, conditions were calm when a fire broke out behind these homes. Some frightening moments for people who live on Willow Grove Avenue in Santee.
Firefighters have been working nonstop since this fire started. We've been watching dozens of helicopters dropping down right next to us here on Otay Lake, filling up these containers with water to then go drop on the ridges right behind us. Thanks to these impressive water drops and the winds calming down, crews continue to make progress, but it hasn't been without a lot of challenges. As we've been driving through this mountainous area, we've seen crews working really hard, hiking up steep terrain. All of these hills are covered in this dry, thorny brush they have to cut through. We just spoke with a retired fire captain with decades of experience in this area. He explained to us that a lot of this brush out here is oily. So when it burns, that oil acts as an accelerant. On top of that, he says there are all kinds of other things that make these mountains such a tough place to fight a fire.
The thing that a lot of people don't realize is that these are wild conditions out here. So there's rattlesnakes out there, there's coyotes out there, there's all kinds of different animals and bugs and things that you're going to run into, and there's poison oak out there. And I've seen crews come back where if people are allergic to it, it can get into their lungs, it gets all over their skin, and they have some really bad reactions to it. So it's not just getting through the brush, it's all the things that are involved.
Some good news tonight. We have seen crews from all over California out here working together to try and keep this fire under control. And thankfully tonight, the wind has been pushing this fire away from homes. From the border fire, Madison Weil, ABC 10 News.
Historically, the girls' basketball program at Coronado High School has had its share of success, but 3 years ago, things hit rock bottom. The girls didn't win a single game. The next year, they won just 1 game. And last year, they won just 3 games. But this year, with a third of the team never playing basketball before, the girls are 7-0.
It is hot out here in Escondido, and I'd argue probably a little too hot for me to stand out here in this much longer. And according to the California Interscholastic Federation, it's too hot to play sports out here too. A new California law required the CIF to come up with a plan for heat-related illness. This is West Tower. It's a brand new $500 million skyscraper that just opened downtown. The smell here in the South Bay is a problem. You already know that. And we'll leave it up to the experts to decide just how dangerous the air quality is. But here's another problem. Which expert should you trust?
I think the public is relieved to actually have validation of what they've been feeling.
The imminent threat to people's health is not one where we want people to stay home and not go to school.
It's usually the biggest purchase someone makes in their life, buying a home. Now that big purchase process is getting some big changes as real estate agents across the nation are preparing to be a lot more transparent about how much they make and who's picking up the tab.
I'm Tali Latoy reporting in Mira Mesa. As the Paris Olympic Games have come and gone, all eyes are now on the Paralympics. And many star-studded athletes are punching their ticket to Paris with many thanks to the Challenge Athletes Foundation. I'm Tali Latoy standing here at a dock in Point Loma, a popular spot for sports fishing boats. However, one popular boat will not be returning to this dock tonight.
The city is looking to create its largest ever long-term shelter here behind me in Middletown. People living just up this hill are doing everything they can to stop this from happening.
The stadium seats may be empty Monday night, but the field isn't, as the Padres prep for Tuesday when they kick off their wild card series against the Atlanta Braves. Star Padres player Manny Machado saying it's time to bring postseason baseball back to San Diego. And once those stadium lights turn on, so does the competition.
On Wednesday night here at the Balboa Theater, Mayor Todd Gloria will be delivering his 2024 State of the City address. So we went ahead and took a look at his speech last year and some of the promises that he made, mainly to do with the most talked about topics: homelessness and the housing crisis. Mayor Gloria said that he would be partnering with city council leaders to tackle homelessness and to get certain housing plans passed to build more homes in 2023.
I've also worked with our Housing Commission to ensure that those who are most at risk of becoming homeless receive assistance.
I'm Danny Miskell in Shelltown, and I'm at the corner of Yama and Cottonwood Street, where city services have arrived, and they're now starting to help clean up the mountains of trash that these flood victims have brought out to the curb. Let's go ahead and show you now. They are actually just finishing up a mountain of trash. It almost took them maybe like a half hour to get through the pile that was here earlier, but this is the urban core of San Diego County. The city's environmental services department is also here. When I spoke to the city employees, they clarified for me that this is actually considered illegal dumping. So what they're collecting right now is separate from the city's waste management program. But nevertheless, the city is out here and they are here to help. They're here to help residents like Anna Ramirez, who I spoke to earlier. She lives on Yama Street, where she grew up in the house for the last 25 years. I'm Danny Miskell in Coronado, and I'm standing here at the intersection of 8th and Alameda, where city crews will continue to work today on restoring the pump systems here in the neighborhood. When we spoke with Fire Chief Jason Summers, he told us that the pumps were not equipped to withstand the nearly 3.5 inches of rain that Coronado got in just 3 short hours on Monday's storm. I'm Danny Miskell at La Jolla Shores Beach, and there is currently a high wind, a high surf, and coastal flood advisory in effect. Let's show you why. As you can see out into the ocean right now, those waves are coming in strong and fast, and look at the damage that it's causing here on the boardwalk. You can see that the water is already spilling out and flooding this walkway. It's already flooding the parking lot, and that's why the coastal flood advisory is in effect. I'm Danny Miskell in Coronado with new information with regards to the Navy helicopter that went into the San Diego Bay at around 6:40 p.m. Thursday night. Now, I just spoke with the Naval PIO, Beth Teach, and she had two new updates for me. First, she can confirm that all 6 of the crew members are not in critical condition and none of them are suffering from life-threatening injury, so we have some good news there. And she said they're going to be releasing more information throughout the day, but for now, they just want the public to know that they're going to be securing this area off and have their patrols out because the helicopter is still in the water.
The Ped West border crossing here in San Ysidro is back open after temporarily being shut down for weeks. It opened at 6 a.m. Now, the closure impacted many people's daily commutes to the area, as well as it increased border times over at the Ped East, which is just about a mile down, and also at the Otay Mesa border crossing. But there has been some movement out here today. Now, the San Ysidro Improvement Corporation says having Ped West open not only gives businesses a boost.
Danny Miskell here at La Jolla Shores Beach, and there is a lot of cleanup to be done after Thursday's morning high tides and high winds. Let's go ahead and show you what lifeguard crews are working on right now. You can see them shoveling up what the waves rolled in Thursday morning. It caused major flooding right here on the boardwalk as well as in the parking lot. I'm Danny Miskell in Coronado, and I am near where a naval helicopter crashed in the San Diego Bay at around 6:40 Thursday night. Now, I'm not going to be able to show you exactly where the helicopter went into the water, but I can show you what the crash looked like when it happened Thursday night. So here it is. And here's what we got last night. We can thankfully tell you that all 6 members who were aboard the helicopter survived this crash.
Search efforts are underway after a military aircraft went missing overnight here in San Diego County. The U.S. Marine Corps has confirmed they are searching for 5 people that were assigned to the Marine Heavy Helicopter Squadron 361. That is actually based here in San Diego County at MCAS Miramar. Now, we know multiple agencies are assisting, including CAL FIRE, the Sheriff's Department, as well as Civil Air Patrol. Standing here outside, you can actually see the conditions that crews are dealing with as they make their way out into the terrain. It's a wintry, snowy mix that they've been dealing with since last night. So you can imagine just how difficult conditions are as they are doing this search.
I'm Danny Miskell in San Ysidro, where we are covering flooding across the South Bay. And many of you know the road that I'm standing on right now. It's Hollister Road, and let me go ahead and step out of the way and show you how it has flooded once again. And you know, this is an even bigger issue because these waters are contaminated. The flooding on Hollister Road is residual. SDPD and even horse owners I spoke to on this road says this happens all the time. We've seen a lot of agencies respond to this situation besides SDPD. City crews were out here. California Border Protection was just down here, Wildlife Patrol, and of course the San Diego Fire and Rescue crew.
Supercross is riding into San Diego this weekend. It's an exciting one because they're celebrating 50 years and they're doing it right here at Snapdragon Stadium. The track is ready, the riders are ready, and it's going to be an exciting moment. There is going to be Fan Fest, there is going to be champions of past and present, all your favorites, and then of course a lot of excitement and a lot of riding this weekend.
President-elect Donald Trump, in a one-word statement on his Truth Social, says it's true. He will declare a national emergency at the border as soon as he takes office and use the military and police to round up and deport undocumented immigrants. That would be a difficult and complicated plan. First of all, even Republicans who support deportation want it targeted.
I'm ABC 10 News reporter Rachel Bianco at the border at San Ysidro. Right now, there is no one in these volunteer tents, and the area between the 2 walls is also empty. A sharp contrast to what it looked like here just a few months ago.
I'm Madison Wild back here in Imperial Beach, where we continue to follow through speaking with families about the many challenges they're facing here in the South Bay.
I I'm ABC 10 News reporter Rachel Bianco along the bluffs in Del Mar, where surfers and people who live in this neighborhood are relieved that a plan to build a 6-foot chain link fence along these railroad tracks is no longer on the table. I'm ABC 10 News reporter Rachel Bianco at the San Diego Unified School District offices. School leaders are trying to reassure parents and students who may have an undocumented family member that their campuses are safe and the district will do everything it can to protect them. I'm ABC 10 News reporter Rachel Bianco outside the Donovan Correctional Facility where Lyle and Eric Menendez, the two brothers notorious for killing their parents decades ago, will remain in prison through the holidays now that a judge has delayed their resentencing. I'm ABC 10 News reporter Rachel Bianco at the San Diego County Administration Building, where the Board of Supervisors is officially sworn in, minus Supervisor Nora Vargas. She is officially out as of noon today, still without giving any explanation about her abrupt resignation.
I'm in Pacific Beach, where earlier today, County Supervisor Tara Lawson-Remer joined about 36 protesters to come out and picket against Blackstone. It's a company they say owns this apartment complex and is engaged in unfair housing practices here and throughout San Diego County.
Blackstone has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho!
That's County Supervisor Tara Lawson-Remer with the bullhorn.
I'm ABC 10 News reporter Rachel Bianco in the area of Mount Helix. Drive through any East County neighborhood and you will find trash cans filled with dry brush and tree branches. People across the region doing what they can to minimize their risk during yet another red flag warning.
I'm Eva Kirshner in Barrio Logan. Here at the Chicano Park Museum's latest exhibit, you'll see vibrant colors, sculptures, and cartoons, and then you'll turn the corner and you'll see this. It's an altar with items on it like peppers, Snickers bars, and even a paper bag portrait. It's all to honor the artists who are behind this exhibit, as well as preserve the Chicano movement from one generation to the next.
I'm about 2 miles away from the Las Americas Mall at the San Ysidro border. It's been less than a day since the Biden administration closed down the border to most asylum seekers. You can see the activity between the two border walls. There's about 3 migrants camped out here. I spoke to people who work with the American Friends Services Committee, and they say Border Patrol agents haven't been turning migrants away.
You just got here?
Speak English? Sitting with their backs against the 30-foot tall fence separating Mexico and the United States, these migrants are at the end of what's been a dangerous journey fueled by desperation.
Where are you from? Somalia.
Through the openings, volunteers in the American Friends Service Committee offered up water and snacks. This image, migrants waiting to claim asylum, the same as it was yesterday and the days before, despite the president's executive order.
The city of San Diego is establishing its budget for next year, and the numbers that we just heard is going to help the city figure out how much they need to spend on affordable housing. And it all starts with how much we need to make a year. In order to afford the average cost of rent in San Diego, you need to make $48 an hour.
Our choice is going to be very clear. Are we going to invest in people? Are we going to invest in the most vulnerable people? Or are we going to continue on with San Diego being the San Diego that it has been?